Wednesdays of the month. So I will hit that. We have to touch that, right? Okay. I hit the got it button. Got it?
Got it.
All right, you guys, all you need is a chair. So we're going to start seated, of course. Okay, so let's take a seat. And what I'm going to have you do is notice where your ankles are in relation to your knees. And get your ankles right underneath the knees. So you need to be kind of scooted a little bit forward on your chair, as long as you feel a little safe. And for those of you in the studio, the chairs can move. That's why I have you on cut up old yoga mats. Why anybody would make a white yoga mat, I'm not sure. That's why I cut them up. Okay. So we create this table leg effect with our legs. So our knees are kind of coming straight out from our hips and our ankles are underneath our knees so that we feel more stable. Okay. And then we want to invite the spine to be tall. So at the base of our pelvic bowl are those sit bones. They're in there, right? Yeah. Do you feel those sit bones on each side of your pelvic bowl? And if you view them like U-shaped rockers that we're sitting on, if we rock slightly forward and the heart lifts a little bit more, you feel a spine lift up a little more, we're going to move towards that space. And then you're going to have your hands on your thighs. You're going to move your elbows back so that they hang just underneath your shoulders. This helps us stay a little more open in the front of the body. So notice how this feels. We're going for neutral spine. And sometimes neutral does not feel natural because we're usually like this, right? Or couch potato pose, or so we just want to open front. And so let's take a nice deep breath in through your nose and let it out with a sigh. Yeah. And then feel your feet on the floor and feel your seat in the chair. And let your breath be natural. Let it just flow gently in and out of the body. You're not trying to make it special. You're just allowing it to move through. So nice, soft inhales, nice, soft exhales, so that we don't feel like we're gasping for the breath at all. We're just meeting ourselves right where we are, right where we're starting from. Maybe you feel the belly expand a little bit with the inhale, or your rib cage or your chest lift. That's okay. Notice. Notice what invites the breath in. And then let tension go as you gently let go of the breath on an exhale. We're a little noisy in here. I'm going to go shut that door. You guys keep breathing. That's okay. That's life, right? Good. So before we get started with any more movement, I'd like you to just bring your awareness to whatever's going through your head right now. It's recognizing what's in the head and what's in the heart. So thoughts and emotions. So we start right where we are. We're not making ourselves feel any differently. We're just knowing where we're starting from. So maybe you feel anxious or frustrated, system get activated, especially when we can't find the building we're supposed to be in or the room we're supposed to be in, right? Maybe we're tired, curious. Just allow these thoughts and emotions to be as they are, just as they are right here. Just allowing yourself to feel the way you feel, to think whatever's here. then drop your awareness into your body. Kind of scan the body, noticing maybe where you sense tension or thoughts and emotions can translate into our body. Maybe you might sense a little tension in the shoulders, the neck, tension in the belly. Or maybe you feel open, settled. Feel your feet and your seat once again. And then bring your awareness to any part of your body that needs your attention while you practice today. Anything that's been talking to you throughout your day. Perhaps it's something left over from sleep or busyness throughout the first part of your week, so that you are setting the intention to take care of this precious body and to move wisely. Good. All right, let's start moving our head. I call this yogi bobble head. Okay, so we're just going to draw a picture or a circle in front of our face with our nose, just kind of drawing a circle around. When we draw circles in front of the face, it keeps us from dropping the head back behind the body too much, right? That might not be safe for you. So you're just kind of drawing a circle. You can close your eyes if it feels comfortable. Just kind of go slow. Keep that breath flowing in and out of the body, not holding your breath at all. You're just noticing what's here in the neck, the shoulders, the jaw. You can let this circle get as big as you feel comfortable and you're not creating more tension. And then you're going to go in the opposite direction with your circles. Maybe you hear some snap, crackles, and pops in there. Mm-hmm. Me too. And this is when you're noticing, is this movement wise for me today? You can let it go if it's not. That's part of your practice as well. Good. And eventually find some stillness. Let your head kind of float on top of your spine. Good. And let's roll the shoulders a little bit. So roll the shoulders forward, up, and down, and then coming back. You don't have to overdo it, just whatever feels comfortable. So let's breathe. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. Inhale forward and up. Exhale back and down. Your spine might move a little bit with this. You might find yourself rocking in your seat a little bit. That's good. Seeing what's here in these precious shoulders, right? And then we'll take it in the opposite direction. Keep the breath flowing. So those elbows are drifting forward and back, right? Your elbows are telling you where your shoulder blades are, right? So when your elbows are forward of the body, the shoulder blades get pulled forward, and the shoulders are back, your elbows are back. Good. Just whatever feels good. Don't overdo. Good. And let that go. Nice. All right. So let's do a little side stretch here. So I'd like you to find your chair. Hold on to the edges of your chair. The chair is there for you. Your feet are firm on the floor. And you're going to inhale. I'm going to be your mirror. So this is going to be my left hand to your left hand. Okay. So you're going to inhale the left arm up to see how that feels in your shoulder. And exhale to the side. Hold on to your chair on the right side. And then inhale back to center. And exhale to the side. So just notice how that feels in your body. So you're really rooting into that sit bone on the side with the arm raised. So you're not lifting off of your seat, but you're stretching the side body. Inhaling to the center, exhaling to the side. So the next time you exhale to the side, stay here. So you're just reaching up through the fingertips. It's as if you're lifting your shoulder up as well. And you're kind of rooting down into that opposite foot that's on the ground. So if your left arm is up, that left foot firm in the floor. Keep your seat firm in your chair. What's it like to breathe here? Are you already holding your breath? You want to breathe into this whole side of the body and definitely let it go when it's time for that precious shoulder and arm. Just adding a little space with the breath right here. So you're going to inhale back to center. Exhale, float that arm all the way down. Let the fingers just drift down. Seeing what the results of that action was like in the body. Good. And then hold on to your chair on that side. Let the right arm drift down. You're going to inhale it up and exhale gently to the side. And inhale back to the center and exhale to the side. Move with your breath. Staying rooted in the opposite side from where the arm is floating towards. Okay, just stay rooted there. So we're not lifting our hip off of the chair. So the next time you're over to the side, stay here as long as it's okay for the shoulder. And you're not only lifting through your fingertips, you're kind of lifting through the shoulder a little bit too. And if it doesn't feel right for the body, you can bring the arm forward or simply put your hand on your hip. So don't overdo it. Breathe into that side of the body. Breathe into your rib cage here. Just soft breaths. You're not trying to get your deepest breath. Just making a little room in the body. Good. Inhale the arm back up. Exhale, float that arm down. Just let it drift. The fingers heavy. Just notice the results of that action in the body. Was that wise for you? Good. All right, so bring the hands into your heart. Thumbs together, thumbs at your chest. So we're going to do a seated forward fold. Now, if you have osteoporosis or osteopenia, you really want to be careful of not over rounding the spine, right? We want to move from the hips and lead the heart forward. So I'll turn to the side so you can see what I'm talking about. So I get my ankles right underneath my knees here. And I don't want to be pushed so far forward in my chair that I'm going to launch off. Okay, no launching. Okay, so I'm going to inhale my arms out and up. And then when I exhale, my arms are going to float out to the side. I'm leading with my heart. See, I'm hinging with my hips and my spine stays long. I don't have to go all the way forward. Bring the hands underneath my thighs. Take a breath. And then inhale, push into the feet and lift yourself back up. Exhale, hands together, hands into the heart. And rest here with your breath. Let me move my chair around here. So we're going to do that a few times. You only go as far forward as you feel like it's wise. And we want to avoid dropping the head before we drop the heart down. So we're not doing this, right? So let's try that again. Feel your feet firm on the floor because they're going to help you come up, right? So inhale your arms out and up. And then exhale, lead with your heart. You're hinging just in the hips. And then the hands come down. And then you inhale, push into the feet. Arms come out and up. Exhale, hands together, hands to the heart. And you take a breath here. See how this feels in the body. And we'll just keep moving with the breath. Inhale, out and up. Feel your feet and feel your seat for sure. Exhale, coming forward, keeping that spine long. And then inhale, push into the feet. Come on up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Rest in the breath right here. Now, just because I'm telling you to breathe in a certain way doesn't mean you can't take extra breaths, okay? So it's not cheating if you take extra breaths. So inhale your arms. These are your arms. Out and up. Exhale, lead with your heart. Just going forward a little bit. And then inhale the arms back up, push into those feet, feel those legs activate. Exhale the hands back down. Rest in one breath here. And when you're ready, we'll do it again. Inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, coming towards this half forward fold. And then inhale, push into your feet, your arms come back out and up. And exhale, the hands into your heart, resting right here Seeing how that felt in the body, feel the heart. Notice your breathing. Release your shoulders. And see if you can draw your ears back a little bit. So if your head is more forward than your shoulders, that creates a lot of strain in your neck. So you draw those ears back just a little bit, just to see how that lands. Oh, my chair's gonna squeak. All right, so now we're gonna come to standing, and we're gonna do it like the yogis that we are. So you use whatever you need to help you come to standing. I'm just giving you suggestions so that we learn to use our core whenever we come to standing. So you can move your ankles slightly behind the knees, just slightly. Again, we don't want to launch forward into the floor. And your hands are on your thighs. And we're going to move on an exhale. So you take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, you're going to lean into your feet, lean your hands into your thighs, and come on up. It's that half forward fold we just did, right? That's that forward fold we just did. And then we rise up using our core, okay? So I'm going to have you stand in mountain pose, which is feet hip distance apart. Whatever feels solid to you, okay? And you draw your ears slightly back, your heart is open, and your arms are next to your body. You're rotating your palms out to face in front of you. It's this rotation of your upper arms I'm looking for, because this way the shoulder blade goes into the body and we open up this space right here. Our pectoral muscles get very tight, right? So we're open. Can you find your breath here? Just let your gaze be forward out in front of you. Find your breath, that nice, soft, easy breath you started with. And this alone is a balanced pose. You're feeling how your feet feel into the floor. So you're noticing if your feet are kind of shifted more weight in one side than the other. That's okay. Just notice that's happening. Especially if we have hardware, right? One side always feels a little heavier than the other. Yeah. So just notice how you're settling into your feet here. We're not locking those knees out. They have a little give, a little softness to them. Yeah. Good. Nice. All right. So we're going to practice a half forward fold. So this is what I'm going to have you do. I'm going to have you turn your chair. So for those of you in the studio, you're just going to have to pick up your chair and turn it around so that the seat of the chair is facing you. And then you stand in front of the seat of your chair. Okay? Yeah. Just turn it around and have it face you. Now I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm talking about. Let me demonstrate first, and then you decide what is wise for you. So you're standing in front of your seat, and that half forward fold we did when we were seated, we're going to do it when we're standing, but we're really going to bend those knees, okay? So it's going to look like this, okay? I'm bringing my arms out and up, and then I'm going to come forward. I shift my hips back. Do you notice I lift my tailbone? I'm kind of hinging in my hips. My knees are nice and bent. I'm not going straight down because that's not good, right? So my knees are bent and I can come about halfway to here, or my fingertips could come to the chair. And then I'm going to use my legs to dive back up. So what we want to avoid when we do these half forward folds, I know, me too. It's hot in here with this on, right? What we want to avoid in our half forward folds is the rounding. Okay, because that's not good for the front of your spine. We want to engage your core. So we're going to keep that spine long, lift my tailbone up, soften my knees, and then dive back up. Okay, so we're going to see how far it feels comfortable to go. So we turn towards you guys so we're all facing the same direction. Feet again in that mountain pose, hip distance apart, hands at your heart. Find your breath, roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Sometimes when we get ready to do something, we hold our breath and then we get really tense, right? So Shake it out a little bit. And then you're going to inhale your arms down, out, and up. You can raise the gaze if it's okay for your neck. As you exhale, soften your knees, lift your tailbone, lead with your heart to about halfway. Hands can come to your knees or the hands can come to the chair. Take a breath here. Nice, beautiful, long spine. And then on your next inhale, bend the knees a little deeper, lift your head and chest. Use the power of your legs to come all the way up. And exhale the hands to the heart. And pause right here. Breathe. Notice how this feels in the body. Maybe we don't want to go as deep as we did the first time. Okay. So inhale the arms out and up. Exhale, soften those knees. Lift your tailbone. Hinge deep in those hips. Leading with your heart. Take an inhale here. Roll those shoulders up, back, and down. Next inhale. Bend the knees. Dive up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Keep breathing. Stay right here. You want to engage your legs and your core when we dive up. So let's try that again. Inhale the arms out and up. Doesn't matter how far forward you go. Soften those knees. Exhale, lifting my tailbone. My hands can come to the seat or to my knees. Take a breath. You roll those shoulders away from your chair. Next inhale, I sit in my seat a little bit more and I push off the floor and I dive up using my legs. Exhale, hands to the heart. Pause right here. Notice if this movement is good for one more try. If not, stay here because that's part of your practice too. This is a pose, right? This is a yoga pose. So if you feel like you're up for one more time, inhale the arms down, out, and up. Exhale, soften the knees. Lift that tailbone. Stick it out there. Hands to the chair or to your knees. Take a breath. Roll those shoulders away from your chair. On your next inhale, you bend the knees a little bit more. You lift your head and chest. You push off the floor with your thighs. Exhale. The hands come to the heart. And you rest right here. Just notice how that felt in the body. Bring the mindfulness into the practice where you're not rushing past results in the body. We want to see if that was okay for the body. Right. All right, so now you have to turn your chairs again. Okay, so we're gonna put the back of the chair in front of us. So we're standing behind the chair facing forward. Yes. And then we're at the back of the chair. So, and then we're gonna move our legs out. So a wide-legged stance. Okay, doesn't have to be super wide. It's what feels comfortable and reasonable to you. I'm gonna move my chair out of the way so you can see what I'm talking about. Just what feels reasonable. I'm gonna turn up the fan. You betcha. Let's do it. Let's get this baby going. I got another fan right here. Yeah. Good. I would open the door, but it gets a little loud out there in the alley. So I have this wide-legged stance. Okay, we're gonna do warrior two. So you're gonna take this left leg. I'm gonna be your mirror. So you use your left leg and I'll pretend this is my left leg, okay? So you're gonna rotate that left leg out on the heel. So your toes are facing left. You're gonna pick up, and this is where you can use the chair to steady yourself in front of you. Pick up that right heel off the floor, swing it out just a little bit so the thigh rotates inward, just a little. See if that feels okay in your body. You might need to bring that heel back. We just want a slight inner rotation of your right thigh, slight outer rotation of your left, okay? Now let me get my chair back. You can have that chair right in front of you. You're going to bend your left knee, but it's not going to go past your ankle. We want to keep it just behind the ankle or right on top, right above, but not past, okay? And put energy into that back foot. That back foot needs to be completely on the ground so you can decide, Maybe I want to widen my stance, or maybe I want to shorten my stance. So you can scooch either way. Now you're going to take your rib cage and turn it to face me. Your pelvis went one way, your rib cage went another. Okay, so it's a twist. So let your pelvis go to the left. Let your heart come forward. Do you feel that? We want to keep our shoulders right over our hips here, so we're not leaning into the future. Okay, and then you're going to hold onto the chair with your right hand and lift the left arm up. Turn your head and look out over that left side. Root into the ground with your feet. Find your breath here. Don't hold your breath. Now, flip that left palm so it's facing the ceiling. Inhale, bring that arm up, straighten the knee, and turn your head to face forward. Exhale, flip that palm out, bend the knee and go down, and turn your head to look out over your fingertips. Inhale, come up, straighten the knee, exhale, go down. So this is this dynamic, moving warrior two pose. Now, if you felt comfortable enough to maybe release the chair, you can have both arms, but sometimes it's just so nice that the chair is there for us, especially if one shoulder isn't happy today. We want to be nice to that shoulder. We want to take care. My left shoulder is not happy today, so I'm going to keep my hand on the chair. Okay, so it would be your right. Good, nice. So the next time you come into that warrior two pose, let's hold the pose. The gaze is to the left, the heart is facing forward, right? And you're breathing. Now, there's a study out there that says when you hold certain poses for 30 seconds or more, they actually build bone density. I'm talking so I can get rid of the 30 seconds. Yeah. Good. And then go ahead and drop that arm, straighten that knee, and let's go to the other side. We got to do it, otherwise you'll be crooked all day. So, well, we only have the other less than a couple hours left of the day. So let's roll. Let's rotate on the heel, the right leg out. Pick up the back left heel. Let it swing out just a little bit so that you feel the thigh rotating inward. So right thigh rotating out. Left thigh rotating in. It takes your pelvis with it, right? And get your heels firm on the floor. I want you to feel strong. Shoulders right over hips, and then you bend that knee just a little bit. Doesn't have to be big. And that rib cage moves. Your pelvis is turned to the right, but your rib cage moves. Just a gentle twist. You can hold onto the chair with your left hand. Raise your right arm and look out over your right hand. Breathe. Breath before form, always. So if you're not breathing, back away and get to the breath and then do the movement later, okay? So let's flip that palm that we're looking at up. Inhale, the arm comes overhead, or as far as it feels comfortable, straighten that knee, turn your head. Our brain is really working now. Exhale, float it back down, turn your head, bend the knee. Inhale, you can flip that palm too. You can flip it around, draw it back down. So you're just kind of moving with your breath. As long as you're breathing, you can't do it perfect and you can't do it wrong, okay? So you're gonna be just fine as long as you're breathing and you're not moving past what is wise. You can add that other arm if you'd like, if you wanna let go of your chair, your arms coming up, the head rotating. Exhale, floating back down, bending that knee, turning the head. This is a lot of work for the nervous system because we're doing all kinds of twisting. Good. So the next time you come into that warrior two pose, hold the pose, but not your breath. You can hold onto the chair too. So this is something that we're dealing with called proprioception. It means I don't see my hand and my foot behind me, but I sense that they're there and where they are in space. So if you want to raise that back arm, turn your head and find out where that hand is in space. Maybe raise it up a little bit. Good. Straighten that knee, put the hand back on the chair, face forward. We only have one more thing to do here with the legs slightly apart. Bring your heels in and your toes slightly out. So you're actually rotating from your thigh, okay? It doesn't have to be really wide. So this is a tiny, tiny baby yoga squat, okay? So let me show you what I'm gonna do with my pelvic bowl. This is your pelvic bowl, right? But this is my tailbone. If we tend to tuck our tailbone, squatting's really hard, okay? So lift your tailbone, get those heels in, and just bend the knees a little bit. It's better for that movement in the thigh. And then we come back up, straighten the knees, and we come back down. Now, if we are somebody that tends to have an overcurve, like that lordosis in your low back, okay, then you probably don't need to lift your tailbone as much, right? But if you like to tuck, like me, it makes it really hard. So we have to find this is how we find neutral pelvis. So we just kind of move in and out like we're in ballet class, but we're not. This is goddess pose or victory pose in yoga. Getting those inner thighs working a little bit. Good. I need to pay attention to the time so I don't keep you guys over. Good. Next time you come into the squat, stay where it feels reasonable. You just have the knees slightly bent. It's not super exaggerated, but you're working, right? And you can hold onto the chair. You can have your hands like you're being sassy, right? Good. Now push into your heels and inhale your way back up. And then your thighs are going to be so happy. Let's bring them back together. Ooh, how'd that feel in the body? Notice that. Thighs have been reunited. Woo. You thighs, everybody's hips doing okay? Thighs doing okay? Did you find your thighs? Yeah. Okay, so we have tree pose left for standing, and then we get to sit back down. So I'm going to have you take your chair and turn it so that the back of the chair is on your left side. So on your mirror, but it doesn't matter which side you start on because we are going to do both. Okay. I just want to make sure that you feel comfortable that the chair is there for you for support. So you're going to have your left hand on your chair. Okay. Get your feet back to mountain pose, hip distance apart, and put your right hand on your right hip. Right. Soften your knees. Let them have a little give. Yeah. All right. So we're going to shift our weight over to the left foot. This is the tree we're planting. And you're going to bend the right knee and place the right toes next to the left foot. See how that feels in the body. Right? Keep breathing. Now notice before we go any further, if we're getting sassy left hip and we're sinking into our structure, you want to draw that thigh inward as you push into the floor of the left foot and lift that spine out of that pelvic bowl. And then you can take this right thigh and rotate it outward just a little bit and place the heel on the left ankle. So your toes are on the ground, we're rooted. And then you can keep your hand on your hip, or you can raise that arm up as a branch for your tree pose, whatever feels comfortable. That's because it's breezy in here. So your wobbling is the normal reaction of a tree in the wind. So this is so good. I'm glad you said that because I'm wobbling. You embrace the wobble, embrace the shake, embrace what's going on, because everything that's happening in your body is giving all kinds of good messages to your brain. You are negotiating with gravity right now, right? Ooh, and boy, is that hip gonna be strong. Push down through that foot, that left foot one more time. Feel that spine rise. Keep breathing. And then slowly put the right foot down. Both arms come down into your mountain pose. How did that feel? in the body. Making that hip get a little stronger, the spine a little taller. And of course, we have to work on our balance, just like any other muscle, right? If we don't use it, we'll lose it. And then we don't have our proprioception. And then what is the number one thing we want to avoid? Falling. Number one thing. So the more we do this, the more we know where our body parts are in space. Now you got to move that chair again. You just turn it around and move to the other side, or move the chair around and put it on your right side. Whew. Hot tamales. So feet hip distance apart. Once again, hand on the chair, left hand on your hip. Now check in with the body after all the work we've done so far. You know, if we're feeling tired, hot, it's hard to breathe with masks on for those of us in the studio. We have to take it a little easier. I've had to slow my teaching way down because of this, right? This is not easy. So you're gonna shift all your weight into your right foot, bend the left knee and put the toes on the ground next to your right foot. And see how this feels. And if it doesn't feel right in the body, you can put that foot back down and maybe just tap it down back and forth. Notice if you are sinking into that right hip, we want to rise out of our structure. That means we're going to engage the core. We're going to engage all of these muscles that support the hip. So you draw the thigh inward and you feel your spine rise and get nice and tall. Right. You can rotate that left thigh out just a little bit. You can rest the heel on your ankle if that feels okay. Staying right here. And your arm can go out to create more of a balance, or maybe you like to have your hand on your hip, whatever feels good. So balance today at 4 p.m., so different than balance early in the morning or in midday, right? And that's okay. We just need to know that it's different and be all right with it. So we're not going to do anything super fancy. You don't have to kick your legs up. No kicking our heels in yoga class. But embrace the wobbles, the shakes. You're safe. You have support. And feel your nervous system negotiating with gravity all the time. You just are really aware of it right now. Yeah. And we're building muscle. Take another breath here. And then slowly bring that foot back down, back to mountain pose. Rotate those arms outward. Have your palms facing forward. Lift your heart and breathe. Invite nice, soft breaths into the body. Standing on your mountain pose. Taking in the view of the body. Making sure we're moving wisely. Now we got to move our chair again. This time we're going to get to sit down, but we're going to sit down like the yogis that we are. So you're going to move your chair back to the beginning. And then you're going to step in front of your chair. Now I'm a real stickler about this. I get real dramatic about this chair thing. We're going to turn around and stare at our chair for a moment. Here's why. How many times have you taken for granted that the chair was where you thought you left it before you sat down? Right? Okay, so just let's get dramatic and introduce yourself to your chair, then turn around and make sure that when you sit down, the chair is there for you. Put your hands on your thighs. Okay. We're going to sit down in that half forward fold that we've been practicing, right? So you take a nice deep breath in. As you exhale, soften the knees, lift your tailbone, let your heart move forward, bend the knees a little more. Maybe your hands need to find the chair, and then ease yourself down. Good. We made it. We made it back down to our chair. If only we did that every time we sat down, but we mindlessly sit down all the time. Like, that's okay. But if we start to even out our weight, use our core a little bit more, Rise and sit on exhales because it engages the core a little bit more when you do that. So let's do a nice seated twist. So you're going to move those ankles, kind of scoot your toes forward. Let me move back a little bit so they can see me online. Scoot your toes forward a little bit so that the ankles are back underneath your knees. And then you're going to move your feet together and your knees together. Your thighs are rotated inward. That's already taking work, right? And you're rocked forward on your sit bones so that the spine naturally rises out of that pelvic bowl. This is already work, okay? So depending on what's going on in your body, and if you've had any hip surgeries or anything, you'll know what you should and should not be doing with crossing your legs, right? So you have a couple options. You can keep your knees and your feet together just as they are. Or option number 2, take your left ankle, I'm going to be your mirror, and cross it over your right. Keep your thighs still together. If crossing is not okay for the body, go back to the other. If it is okay for your body and it feels comfortable, you could take this left thigh and cross it over, but only if it's okay for the body. So you have all these options. Either of those, all of those, thighs still need to be actively rotating towards each other. Do you feel that difference than just sitting? And it lets our spine go the minute you let those thighs rotate outward. When you rotate your thighs inward, it helps that spine lift. So you're going to take this will be your left hand, and put it on the chair behind you. Okay, so you're feeling your feet, you're feeling your seat, and you have your chair. And your right hand is going to go across the midline of the body on the left thigh. Heart is facing forward. You're going to take a nice inhale. You feel that spine rise a little bit. And as you exhale, move from your center and rotate a little bit to the left. And the head can continue. Inhale, rotate yourself back out. Exhale, rotate yourself back in. Be real gentle. Inhale, rotate out. Exhale, rotate in, and we're going to settle here. We're not wrenching the body into the twist. The head will continue to rotate to where you feel comfortable. Can you breathe in the twist you've landed in? So you might need to dial it back a little bit and invite the breath into the body. It's going to be challenging to breathe in a twist. So go for comfortable challenge. See if you went too far, or is there room to go a little further? So visualize your spine like a spiral staircase. It's rooted down into the seat of the chair and rising up through the crown of your head and rotating around, spiraling around to the left. Good. Nice. On your next inhale, unwind. Hope you weren't holding your breath. Uncross. Feet back together, knees back together, hands on the thighs, lift the heart, and pause right here and breathe and notice. I'm going to get the clock because I can't see it without my glasses on and the glare. You guys don't want to stay longer than an hour, do you? There we go. You guys are having so much fun. We're going to do the other side now. Okay, so let's see how we feel. You can have both feet together. You can cross the right ankle over the left, but the thighs need to stay together, or you can cross the right thigh over the left, depending on what we've had done in the body, right? And what's wise for the body, especially this low back, that tricky SI joint back there, right? So we want to be careful. Any space you're in, though, thighs are still active. They're rotating towards the midline and the spine is taut. Okay, take that right hand, find the chair behind you, and that left hand kind of crosses over the midline. Take a nice inhale here and exhale, move from here, your solar plexus. And then you do a nice rotation. And inhale your way back out. Exhale your way back into the twist, being very gentle. Inhale your way back out. And exhale your way back in. And stay here in the twist. Don't overdo it. Where's the breath? Remember that always. Breath before form. So make sure you can breathe. Maybe dial the twist back a little bit. Your thighs are still moving gently towards each other. The spine is rising and wrapping around to the right. That rib cage rotates around, the head moves, but you're not going too far. Right. Slowly unwind, uncross. Get the ankles right underneath the knees straight out from the hips. And pause right here and take in the work you've done in the body. Right. So the last, I believe the second to the last movement we're going to do is we are going to move the spine a little bit. So you're going to bring your hands to your heart, just place them on top of your chest, on top of each other. So it's kind of like a cat-cow move. Okay, so when you inhale, your arms are going to come out. You're lifting your heart. When you exhale, hands come back into the heart, roll onto the back of the sit bones. You're purposely gently rounding your spine. You're using your core on the exhale, so you're not slouching. You're actively coming inward. Inhale, come back out. Exhale, come back in. You can feel yourself as you're moving, rocking on those sit bones, right? You only go as far as you feel comfortable, making sure you're not moving too far out for the shoulders or overdoing it in your spine. That exhale helps us activate the front of our core so the spine isn't collapsing on itself. It's being guided by all of those abdominal muscles, staying strong. Good. The next time you inhale and your arms come out, you're going to hold the pose, but not your breath. Feel the feet firm into the floor. The heart is open. Breathe. Don't hold your breath. You're challenged, but you can breathe. Actually, you're breathing and then you're getting challenged, right? Good. Take another inhale here. Exhale. Activate the core. The hands come into the heart. You're just slightly rounding. You feel that core activate. It moves towards your spine. Bring your chin slightly towards your collarbones. Can you find your breath here? It's a little harder to breathe like this. Think of how often we're slouched forward like this, but not being active. Good. Place your hands on your thighs. Inhale, lift your heart, roll your shoulders up, back, and down, and pause right here. And breathe. Notice. And then we'll settle in for some gentle meditation. So some of us don't have backs on our chairs, but if you can lean back into the bar of your chair, if that feels comfortable, doesn't for me, or just feeling comfortable, let your legs go where they feel the most comfortable. Just roll your shoulders up, back, and down. Let your elbows rest beneath your shoulders rather than forward. The heart's gently open and lifted. Your gaze can be low on the floor in front of you, or your eyes can be closed if that feels wise for the body. You're just inviting soft breaths into the body. Don't overdo your breathing either. That really activates your nervous system when you gasp for the inhale. So we're going to count our breaths. We're going to inhale to your own count of 4. And exhale to the count of 4. It's your own rhythm. Inhaling to the count of 4 and exhaling to the count of 4. You feel the body accept the breath. You're not rigid. The body responds as you inhale and exhale. Keep going with your own breath pattern. And you're trying to equalize the breath so that you're not gasping all of your inhale in within the first 2 counts. Kind of even it out. We want the system to feel settled. And then if it feels wise in the body, maybe extend your exhale by 1 count to the count of 5. So inhaling to the count of 4, and it goes right into the exhale to the count of 5. Maybe we can feel our heart beating, and listening and feeling the breath. Being fully present in your body. And then let the counting of the breath go. And simply just be in this space in a natural way in this moment. And bring to mind one thing from your yoga practice today that you found helpful or beneficial. Just one thing, a word or a movement or a breath. Just bring that one thing to mind and hold it here as you breathe in this quiet, quiet space, being fully present with that sensation of something being beneficial to you. We're very good at the negativity bias, and that keeps us safe. And we can develop our positivity bias as well. So let's hold that one beneficial thing. You're holding it tenderly and breathing with it. Just creating a new pathway in the brain. Now tune into the body. And what movement does your body need? And I know we're seated, but you could stand if you want. Just something to release whatever's being held in the body. Maybe you need to roll out your wrists. Maybe you need to move your head, shake out your feet a little bit, get loosey-goosey, just kind of letting go of tension, just honoring the body and the need that it has without you waiting for a directive. You know what your body needs. So take some time to release it. And then you're going to inhale your arms out and up. Exhale, bring the hands together and bring the thumbs in towards your heart. May you be well. May you be happy. May your heart be open and filled with loving kindness. And may you have true peace in your life. Thank you so much for joining me today.